Hi, hello there. Oh boy. It's Gary Lucas, and hey, we have a moment. The sun is streaming in here in the corner out of both the windows, and maybe if it stays like that at the end of the broadcast, I'll give you a gander of our neighborhood, which got pretty snowed in last night. I was born in Syracuse, New York, which is deep in the snow belt, and I love it when it snows. Not always, or at least not for the few days afterward it turns into muck. But when it's pristine right after a snowfall, I think it's one of the most beautiful sights. And this morning I was out there frolicking, going out to get coffee for Caroline and I, and took Lulu out with little red booties to go over her paws so that the salt they've thrown down doesn't scald her. And she was having a fine old time in the snow. And anyway, we'll see. They were talking about 18 inches, but down here, I'd say they only jumped about 5 or 6. And we did a pretty good job plowing it last night. So we're not snowed in, but I've been snowed in here, and that's also fun. Anyway, a lot to talk to you about. Today, turns out, unbeknownst to me, I don't really keep close track on all these things, but today is the 10th anniversary of the passing away of Don Van Vliet, Captain Beefheart. And coincidentally, I just finished a really long, in-depth article about Don Van Vliet and his relation with Frank Zappa for Please Kill Me, and I believe they're going to run this on what would have been Don's 80th birthday, January 15th, which is also MLK Day. And so watch for that, because I put a lot of time in on this, and I had Caroline read the whole thing through last night, and she was very complimentary, and that's not easy to win compliments from her. But yeah, it's a good one. So anyway, I'll tell you some Beefheart Shana, but let's get right down to playing right now here. piece by Dollar Brand, aka Abdullah Ibrahim Brajo from Kilimanjaro, and there's a version on my forthcoming album, The Essential Gary Lucas's 40-year retrospective. Here we are. Which is out January 29th on Knitting Factory. And there's the first recorded version of it, which I did, on a Sunday night with not a lot of folks in the room in the old Knitting Factory on Leonard Street. But some of my best work was done in absentia, let's say. It's always difficult, unless you are a mega draw, to get people to come out on Sunday nights in any city in the world, pretty much. And anyway, at that point I was grateful to get slots like that. And I used them as workshops. You know, I worked out some of my best pieces, and that was one of them. So, okay, it's the anniversary of Don's passing, and I want to pay my respects today because, you know, it's a fantastic coincidence to me that I finished this article. I had no idea that today was the 10th anniversary of his death from multiple sclerosis. Really a horrible way to go. And I was told by one of his close family members that he actually had lost the faculty of speech a couple of years previously. This occurred in 2010, so a few years before that, he really was kind of falling apart, which is awful to contemplate. But he kept drawing and painting as best he could until one day he threw the pencil on the floor and he was done with it. I guess he said as much as he was going to say in that regard. And it really, how I heard about it too is another coincidence, unless you believe that there are no coincidences. Now that might be synchronicity, and I'd like to think so. And anyway, what happened was, I was in Havana, Cuba, working. I had just played in 2010 my second time at the Havana Film Festival with a live score for the great Jose Mojica Marin's, aka Coffin Joe's, masterpiece, Esta Noite Encarnarei no Tu Cadaver, which in Portuguese translates to, Brazilian I should say, translates to, This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse. And it was the world premiere of my score, which I've gone on to play in various great venues all over the world, such as the Walter Reed Theater at Lincoln Center for the Latin Beat Film Festival a couple years later. Anyway, I was out for dinner with my friend Toby Brocklehurst, and he was my guy in Havana. Also, give a shout out here to Sebastian Doggart, both of them English guys. And Sebastian helped me get there via the Jecheon International Music and Film Festival in South Korea, where he had a film in competition and saw what I was doing with the Golem. Anyway, so he hooked up a Cuban connection. And so we were out at a Paladar. They have really excellent, more or less private restaurants in people's houses. They have great restaurants all over Havana, all over Cuba. But these are really special, with various gourmet chefs preparing delicious dishes. Anyway, after dinner we left the Paladar, and it was an absolutely starry sky and dark. It was out in the countryside, outside Havana, where we'd been dining. And I looked up at the stars, and a notion surfaced out of my subconscious mind, and that was, it triggered this phrase by Don Van Vliet, which was written on the back of his album, The Spotlight Kid, and it said, "The stars are matter, we're matter, but it doesn't matter." And with all these stars confronting me, and the heavenly brilliance surrounding me, I thought to myself, what did he mean exactly by this phrase? Because Don was a great poet, but a lot of it were like enigmas wrapped up in riddles, as they were like puzzle lyrics or poems, a lot of the lyrics, where sometimes the symbolism in there would not be immediately apparent to most people on a cursory inspection, but several times repetition or reading of these lyrics on the page, sometimes you'd really get insights into what he was trying to say. He was an old beatnik in that way, I mean, great imagery. So, to me, I took it at that point like similar to John Lennon in Instant Karma, lyrics for that, which is, we all shine on like the moon, the stars, and the sun. So the stars are matter, we're matter, we're all created of the same matter, but it doesn't matter. Now that was a comforting thought to me, because in our infinitesimal insignificance, think of the last sequence of this great science fiction 1957 film, The Incredible Shrinking Man, where the protagonist steps out through a crack in a screen door to step out into a vast universe of stars, and instead of being terrified at that moment, he feels comforted because he knows he's one with the universe. And that's what I think Don was driving at. And that's how I felt at the moment. I was feeling good. And then I went in and played a set at the Havana Jazz Festival in this venerable jazz club not too far from where I had played a couple nights previously with the Coffin Joe film. Anyway, the next day I was due to come back to New York. And I had to take a circuitous route coming and going because there was no official reciprocity of transportation from America to the U.S. There was for a second under Obama, but now under Trump, that was undone, unfortunately. Hopefully that's coming back. And you should all go there and visit there because A, they could use your financial support, and B, it's a beautiful, beautiful country with fabulous people. And, whatever propaganda myths have been fed to Americans over the years about, the communist menace of Cubans, it's really doesn't apply, not anymore, not for a long time. So anyway, my cell phone, which had been silenced, it's blocked out the international cell phone frequencies in Havana. It's still very much an authoritarian state, and they don't allow this kind of communication. They're very paranoid. Well, it started to work when we got to Miami. That was my first stop. And I had a text waiting for me by my webmaster, Tanya Wieman, and it said, "Gary, I hope you're okay, and I don't know if you've heard the news, but Don Van Vliet just passed away." And I was really struck by this. I was really, it wasn't shattered, but I was happily surprised, let's say, because I hadn't thought about him for a long time until that night before. I'm, looking up at the stars and digging the universe. And I tell you, I got a notion that Don was giving me a message as he was passing and shuffling off this mortal coil and passing to a higher level, onto higher ground, leaving planet Earth the night before. That's my take on it. I guess that's similar to the experience I had. I related the story a couple of weeks ago of playing in the Czech Republic. But this had a happier conclusion, although, no, it was sad. I was really sad that Don was gone. But I had organized, actually, as a consciousness-raising exercise, my first Captain Beefheart Symposium in LA, which was still on the books and scheduled for right around his birthday, January 15th. So I was determined to keep it going. And we did it at the Echoplex in Echo Park, which was a nice club, and got quite a crowd to come out, and various people got up and spoke, including Matt Groening, who's one of the biggest Simpson fans in the universe. You know him as the creator of, he's one of the biggest Beefheart fans. He created The Simpsons, Matt. Pamela Des Barres, who was an old friend of Don's, and especially ran his fan club, the first Captain Beefheart fan club, when she was in high school, in the same class as Don's cousin, Victor Hayden. And Pamela brought a beautiful banner to the tribute that she had made, it was like a pom-pom cheerleader girl thing, Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band. I might have a picture of that somewhere. I got to ask her to send it because I'll share it. Oh, what was also really cool was that a member of the LA City Council showed up right before the tribute with an official scroll, beautifully rendered in color, official scroll, and said that according to the minutes of the LA City Council, when they learned of Don Van Vliet's passing on December 17th, they held a 10 minutes of silent pause in their meeting to honor his spirit as a great son of Los Angeles, even though he grew up basically in Glendale, California, until he moved to Lancaster. But Glendale is a suburb of LA, so we'll give him that. And then, of course, he did spend a lot of time in LA over many years, working with Frank Zappa, for instance, and playing with his various magic bands. So it was a great night. I'm not sure there's video footage of it, but I have great memories of that. So that was something. And anyway, all I'm saying is please look out for this article about Don and Frank. That's the title. In Please Kill Me and PleaseKillMe.com. It's a great, great website for all sorts of things, not just musical things, not only on the punk tip, but all sorts of music and weird stuff, cultural ephemera, interesting stuff. They're easy to find, and they're definitely well worth reading. So, okay, now I've talked for quite a bit. I'm running the clock out tonight. But it is also the last night of Hanukkah, and I should pay tribute to that. So I'm going to switch positions. Actually, no, would you like me to play a Beefheart song? Yes. I'll stand up for this one, okay? I don't know if the top of my head is going to get cut, and I haven't played it in a while. But I will for you, and it's Evening Bell, and it's best played standing up, so let's see. I'll do a whole show about Beefheart next time, and that'll be one of them, but I do want to show you what's going on outside. I'll switch positions over here. I'll get behind this little thing. Okay. Now, I'm going to move over so you can get a good view of the outside here. Okay. Now, see if you can focus on that. See, the snow is already melting pretty much. Let's look over the neighborhood. I don't know what they're building on top of us, top of this building directly in front of us. I tried to ask a workman the other day and got a vague reply. Maybe they're just reinforcing the roof. Maybe they're putting in a hot tub for the more clement weather. Okay, now here is, there's Julian Schnabel's Palazzo Ciuppi, that big pink edifice over there. And, God, it's actually pretty lovely when you get to look at it, but it does dwarf. It took a lot of people's view away. I guess he was real fast with the New York City Council anyway, right before they zoned this as a landmark area. Good on you, Julian. All right, now, this is a Trump supporter's mansion that's been going up for about a year and a half. I keep showing you this work in progress. Okay, there's the flag, which is kind of not really waving today. Yes, the guy, I don't want to say any names here because I don't want blowback directly from him. But let's hope, he's a good neighbor. But he's given quite a hassle to Donald Trump, according to Wikipedia. And how many stories is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 8-story building. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And now, all right, I'm going to try and play for you here. I'm not supposed to be rotating the phone like this, but what the hell? And can I switch to mirror image? No. How am I supposed to do that? Well, I think I violated all protocols of Facebook, so I'll just turn it around this way and play for you this way. As it is last night of Hanukkah. And did we light the candles? No, we did not. But anyway, I once got with Lou Reed, and he asked me if I could teach him. I had a little dreidel. It's a little spinning top in Judaism. It's a little toy, and you play with them on Hanukkah during the festival of Hanukkah 8 nights. All right, now it's time to go soak up some good CNN or MSNBC. And thanks everybody for listening and watching. I don't know where that went. On this thing, the good shot of the apartment. And a collection of junk. Okay, and while I got your attention, two of the best reads that of books I read this year, I'm going to recommend them. One is Curzio Malaparte's Caput, New York Review of Books Press. It's as black as can be, humorous, somewhat take on World War II. I don't want to spoil it for you. And then, of course, I really enjoyed, and just finished up, Elena Ferrante's The Lying Life of Adult, which is certainly recommended if you like her other books, which I do. I adore them. Then you will definitely like this one. And that's all we got time. That's all she wrote. I'll get more into it next time. I'll see you on Saturday. Hey, maybe it'll snow some more. I hope so. In the meantime, stay safe. Be well. Look at this workspace. Oh, my God. And love to you guys. All right. See you on the flip-flop. Bye now.